station, WTIM.
Welcome to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream on TaylorvilleDailyNews.com and WTIM TV YouTube, brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust, where they put people first. In studio, I have Christian County Sheriff Bruce Kettelkamp. He's running for re-election as a Republican. Great to have you back here, Sheriff.
Great to be here with you this morning, Avery.
All right, so let's dive right into your candidate interview. So tell me about your experience and why you decided to run for re-election.
Well, my experience, I'm going to be showing my age a little bit, but I started in law enforcement in 1974 in Nokomis. I worked in Nokomis with Nokomis Police Department for about a year and a half, and then I went on to the Hillsborough Police Department, and I worked there for about a year and a half as a patrol officer. Then I was fortunate enough, I applied for the Illinois State Police and went through their very rigorous testing at the time. There's no way I could pass it now, but went through their testing and was fortunate enough to pass. I was able to get on hired with the Illinois State Police. So in June of 1977, I joined the academy. And the Illinois State Police is a semi-military organization, and I learned a lot about discipline, and I learned about getting up and how to make a bed and make sure that it's perfect, that the corners are tuck pointed just right. And we'd get up early in the morning and get in formation, and we'd go out and run every morning, and then we'd come back and we'd make sure that we get showered and have breakfast, and then we have an inspection, and then we raise the flag. But it was a very unbelievable experience, and I was with the Illinois State Police for 27 years. Great opportunities at the state police. You have when you're employed with the state police. You get to do so many different things. I started out as a trooper working the interstates up in District 5 Joliet. That was my first assignment. And I worked on I-57 between Cook County and Kankakee County. And I also worked on I-57 or I-55 south of Joliet down to Dwight. A lot of experience through there when you work on the interstate, and got to work with a lot of good people, and you not only as a road trooper, you handle a lot of accidents, you monitor speed and DUI arrest, but you also do with truck inspections and dealing with second division vehicles and all that. So got a lot of training through that. I also, while I was with the state police, I was fortunate enough to go to EMT training down at the academy, which was very good. It's medical emergency training. So that was very valuable. I want to step back a little bit. While I was in college, I went to college after graduating from Nokomis High School. Went to college at SIU Edwardsville, and the best place to get a student work job was with the campus police. That was the highest paying job. So I started there, and I worked there, and I also worked as a dispatcher for the campus police. So I learned what it's like to be a dispatcher too. So it's very difficult, and I applaud our dispatchers here in Christian County because they're very good. But anyhow, getting back to my experience, and after 27 years, during the 27 years with the state police, I worked several years as a trooper up in Joliet. Then I came back down to Springfield. And I joined the Executive Protection Detail, which protects the governor and state office holders. So I was on Governor Thompson's security detail for 4 years. Through that, while I was on that detail, I was their intelligence officer, which investigates any threats that come in. So I work closely with a lot of agencies out of Chicago, police departments up there whenever there was a threat against the governor. Very interesting. And after that, then I went into the investigations. I worked 4 years for Governor Thompson, and then I went into investigations with Illinois State Police. So worked as a investigator, worked homicide cases, worked rape cases, and then I went into narcotics. And most of my career was in narcotics. I worked as a street agent, worked undercover. Believe it or not, to look at me now,
Mhm.
I did used to have some hair. I had
I
long
can tell.
hair. I had long hair, and I don't know if you can tell, but I have a pierced. I have
Oh,
a
really?
ear that was pierced. I kind of looked rough when I was working undercover and bought a lot of drugs. I even came down here in Christian County. I worked out of Springfield, but we came down and worked. Christian County was one of the areas that we worked, so I come down here and work some investigations, drug investigations. So I did that. Really enjoyed it. Was fortunate enough to get promoted to sergeant,
Mhm.
and that's when started my supervisory role. I worked. I would have like 4 or 5 investigator or drug agents under me. A lot of them were
Mhm.
local task force agents. That's why I think it's that's another part of my experience that I think is so valuable, is that I've worked with all kinds of different agencies,
Mhm.
and I've been on different task force. I've been on a FBI task force. I've been on a DEA task force, and through that networking, you get to know a lot of people. Uh, through the U.S. Attorney's Office when I was working with the FBI and the DEA, so I have a lot of experience with knowing a lot of people, and
Yeah.
that helps me as sheriff
Mhm.
because I can call up the FBI. I know the people there, and it's nice, when you know people rather than somebody when you call and you don't know them. So
Right.
anyhow, I started my supervisory career as a drug supervisor of the drug task force. Then I got promoted to master sergeant, and I was given the opportunity to work as a supervisor for the criminal conspiracy unit, and we covered a lot of big cases, a lot of big drug cases. We also did interdiction cases. We'd go down to Effingham, where there's a Greyhound bus. We'd go down there, and we would be able to talk to people that come off the bus, and we got a lot of big drugs coming in through the Greyhound coming
Mhm.
down from Chicago.
Mm.
So it was very interesting. And so throughout my law enforcement career, I've been a supervisor for, I've been in law enforcement now at the end of the month, November, 42 years. So out of those 42 years, I've got like 32 years as a supervisor. And I think that's very important. And that's, I guess, getting into why I'm running for reelection.
Mhm.
We have such a great team with the Christian County Sheriff's Office. I couldn't ask for better employees than what we have.
Mm.
And we get, I don't think people realize how many people that I'm responsible for or I
Right.
oversee. And, it's just not the road deputies. I've got 12 road deputies. I've got 2 investigators that are assigned that I assigned them to the drug task force, the Central Illinois Enforcement Group task force. I heard you earlier talking about the big arrest investigation
Mhm.
they did here, and I'd like to talk about that a little later. But yeah, and that's was kind of lost my thought there. But
Well,
anyhow,
here, let me ask you, why do you
yeah,
want the voters to return you to office?
that's why. That's what I was getting to. Is I think I want the voters to return me to office to continue to lead these great people that serve Christian County.
Mm.
They really work hard at protecting and serving the citizens in Christian County, and they've done a fantastic job. And I think most of the community will agree with that we have a very good sheriff's department. And it's about protecting, but a lot of it is service, and we do that. I don't think people understand quite how much a deputy has to do.
Mhm.
The sheriff's office serves over 100 court papers a month. That's up to the subpoenas and summons and OPs, order protections, and
Mhm.
all that. So we serve over 100 papers a month.
That's
So
like 3 a day, isn't it?
they're very busy serving papers, but also between that, then they're going from domestic call to domestic call, and then it's just in monitoring speed and these terrible crashes that we've had lately. But anyhow, we have a very, very good sheriff's department. I want to continue to lead that. I think it's very important, especially in today's climate. It's very challenging for law enforcement. You really need to have a leader that's had experience. And I believe that I'm that person. So I really would appreciate the public's vote so I can continue to lead the sheriff's office, because I think they're a fantastic office. And I love my job. I love serving people. I think that's it. You got to have a calling to be a law enforcement officer, a certain calling.
Right.
And one of those callings is helping people. And I believe that's what God puts us on earth, is to help other people. And that's what I enjoy doing.
It's Christian County Sheriff Bruce Kettelkamp. He's running for re-election as a Republican. More from him after this short break here on the WTIM Morning Show. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. And People's Bank and Trust, they put people first.
WTIM. Your local radio stations are here for you. No subscriptions or monthly fees necessary. We're here to give you the news, weather, and traffic you need, and the music you love. But if the foreign-owned record labels get their way, it could stop the music. They want Congress to force radio stations to pay them more money, simply to play their music. Don't let radio go silent. Text LOCAL to 52886 and tell Congress to protect local radio stations. This message furnished by the National Association of Broadcasters.
I'm Kathy Cravens with BK Insurance Services, your local Medicare healthcare specialist in Taylorville. It's that time of year and brand new programs are available for 2023. Don't miss out to see if there's a better option for you. The Inflation Reduction Act is bringing lower drug costs and lower copays in January 2023. Call me today for your personal appointment during the annual enrollment period now through December 7th at 217-414-1201. That's 217-414-1201.
Hi, this is Jared White, host of Central Illinois Outdoors, inviting you to find us on the internet. We are up and running at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. You can jump on there to find our Catch of the Week segment. Also, our archive shows. After they air on the weekend, you can find them every Monday at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. So listen when you can. You can also find us on Facebook. Just search Central Illinois Outdoors. Central Illinois Outdoors on Facebook or at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. We'll see you there.
That feeling is in the air. It's getting cooler. The leaves are falling. It's fall. And that means bonfires, get-togethers, and farmer-owned Prairie Farms dairy products. Prairie Farms cottage cheese is a great salad or side dish. Dip your favorite vegetable into Prairie Farms' lineup of dips, including French onion and ranch, to make the taste pop. And Prairie Farms sour cream goes great on that baked potato you just took off the grill. Enjoy the fall season with these Prairie Farms dairy products in your grocery or convenience store dairy case.
At Central Illinois Outdoors with me, Jared White, we want you to be a part of the program as well via the Archer's Alley Catch of the Week. Each week, we'll select one of your pictures submitted at centralillinoisoutdoors.com and invite you to tell your story of the great outdoors. We're looking for your kid's first catch or even your first big buck. There's a simple, easy form you can fill out on your phone or computer at centralillinoisoutdoors.com. Send us your story, send us your pic. centralillinoisoutdoors.com and the Catch of the Week, brought to you by Archer's Alley, North 22nd Street in Decatur.
Taylorville Care Center, Taylorville's premier nursing facility, is hiring, offering the best opportunities in town with new wages, elite pay, and premium pay programs for RNs, LPNs, and CNAs. Get more by clicking their icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Hi, this is Will Perkins with Taylorville Community Credit Union. Find out about all the products and services we provide by clicking our icon at TaylorvilleDailyNews.com.
Your information station, WTIM.
Welcome back to the WTIM Morning Show. I'm Avery Cooper. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville, where you always do better with Landmark. And People's Bank and Trust, they put people first. I'm here with Christian County Sheriff Bruce Kettelkamp, running for re-election in the November general election that is coming up Tuesday, November 8th. He's running as a Republican. Sheriff, we're just going to dive right back into the interview questions for candidates, as we usually do. When you knock on someone's door asking for their vote, what do you tell them in, an elevator pitch sort of way?
Well, again, I think I tell them, this is very challenging times for law enforcement. Right now, we need a strong leader as the sheriff in Christian County, and I believe I am a strong leader. I believe I have the experience in supervising people. I'm responsible for over 45 employees in Christian County. We not only do we have the patrol officers, the deputies, but we also are responsible for the safety of the inmates at the jail. We got to make sure that the correctional officers are safe there, and then the safety at the courthouse. I'm responsible for the upkeep and the security at the courthouse. So you got to have a leader with experience. And I do have that experience. And if I do need any assistance from outside agencies, I have that networking with the federal agencies and the state agencies. If we need anything here in Christian County, we can get it immediately.
What makes you different from other candidates seeking the sheriff's office?
Well, I think my difference is that I've got the experience. I've been the sheriff here at the end of November. It'll be 12 years I've been here. And again, I think we have a very good sheriff's department. And I've worked the streets. I've made a lot of arrests. I made a lot of drug arrests when I was an undercover narcotics agent. I know what the officers need. I fight for our officers, what they need, any kind of equipment, and try to get them a pay raise whenever we can. So I really support our officers and get them the tools that they need to do their job.
Well, what else would you like to discuss in terms of the sheriff's office?
I just, I can't say enough about how proud I am of the employees that we have there. They're very great employees. And I don't think people realize how much stress they go through in a day, and take, for instance, you can go from sitting at the sheriff's office, having a cup of coffee at 3:00 in the morning. You get a call that there's a vehicle stuck on the train tracks, and you run out to your squad car. You can hear the horn on the train, and that train is getting close to that vehicle, and it's somebody's in there. So you hurry up. You go from relaxing, having a cup of coffee, to bam, you're in high mode, and you run out there quick, and then you get the gentleman off the track right before the train could hit the car. You risk your life. So a lot of there's a lot of stress. The dispatchers, they get a call of some of these terrible accidents, or they send us, I'll never forget the night at 3:00 in the morning, I get that call that there's been an officer shot. That is one of again, I'm an emotional person, and I'm on my way to that shooting, and all I could think about, I didn't know who had been shot. And all I could think about was, I knew who was working that night. I knew they had babies at home. They had young wives at home. That's all I could think about. So they're out there protecting Christian County all 24/7. We cover these small communities when they don't have officers on. So they do a lot. And I just can't get over how appreciative I am of what they do.
And I know you wanted to address an arrest situation too.
Well, I think our task force when I first became sheriff in 2010, Christian County didn't have anybody in the task force. They did supply some money to help pay for officer out of Pana or out in Taylorville to be on the task force. But when I came in, and I had the experience of being on a task force, so I wanted to get somebody in there. So I did. I got that investigator is assigned to this task force, and I wanted to explain this task force is comprised of the Illinois State Police, who lead it, but it's the Jacksonville Police Department, Lincoln Police Department, Logan County Sheriff's Office, the Morgan County Sheriff's Office, Pana Police Department, Sangamon County Sheriff's Office, and the Springfield Police Department. I'm on the board. I sit next to these other sheriffs and the chief of police of Springfield. These guys, if we ever need anything from those other agencies, they come in and they help us here in Christian County. So this arrest that was done in Pana, it led to the major supplier over in Shelbyville, which was supplying a lot of methamphetamines in Christian County, and we put a stop to that. And they're going to go into federal court, and they're going to go away for a long, long time.
All right. That's Christian County Sheriff Bruce Kettelkamp. Any quick final thoughts before you go here?
Again, I would appreciate your vote on November 8th or before. I think I have the experience. The Christian County Sheriff's Office has been very good, and I believe I've got the experience to lead those individuals, and I want to continue to do that.
Sheriff, thank you very much.
Thank you, sir.
That's Christian County Sheriff Bruce Kettelkamp running for re-election in the November election as Republican here on the WTIM Morning Show. Your stream brought to you by Landmark of Taylorville. You always do better with Landmark, and People's Bank and Trust. They put people first.
WTIM.